How's it going? Do you mind if the camera's running?
Yeah, well,
Come on in.
Matthew?
Yes.
What's going on?
How's it going? I have an ongoing situation, and would it be okay if we recorded this for my own documentation?
Yeah, sure.
And I kind of want this to be the last time I have to call the police about this. Why don't you go outside? Why don't you go outside?
What's going on?
Come on. In 2016, I hired a dog trainer to train her, and he sold me an educator e-collar. I saw him operate it a few times, and in 2017, I followed up with him, and I had him come over to my parents' house to teach my dog a quiet command and go over some other commands. And on this occasion, he improperly used the educator e-collar. So he hit it at such a frequency where my dog...
Like a shock collar?
It's a shock collar. He won't describe it that way. If you go on Google, it will say shock collar.
Okay.
And he hit it at such a frequency that she just shut down and she began to cower in fear. And anytime you said the come command to her, she would lock down and cower in fear. So when I went to the dog park, rather than come to me when I say come, she would just, tuck her tail, put her head down, and stop where she was, you know. So I decided to leave him a Google review. And in that Google review, I called him pretentious know-it-all, said he knows better than vets. I said that he switched up Shelby's diet. Okay. And I said that he improperly used this educator e-collar, which resulted in an intolerable amount of pain to the dog. Okay. All of which is true. I guess the burden of proof, the hardest one is the harm to the dog, but as it turns out, my mother might serve as a witness for that. He has been responding to these reviews.
This is in 2017? This started?
Well, the reviews started in 2022.
Okay.
So...
This is just a dog training?
It's just a dog trainer, but he trains vicious animals. He's been stalking my father. He's been going through my father's medical records. He's been going through my medical records. He's been downloading videos about me. He's been telling people that I'm a rapist. He's been telling Shelby. He's been telling people that I made death threats to him. Can you just read this?
What am I looking at?
This is a response to my Google review.
Okay.
And I want you to read this last paragraph. And if you could do it out loud, that would be appreciated. The part where it says sick info.
You're Matthew, right?
I'm Matthew. And originally he was denying knowing me. He denied, who I was. He pretended he didn't know it was me on the phone. He pretended he didn't know the Google review. He called me fake. And now he's been acknowledging, oh yeah, I did work with this guy. There are credit card transactions. And he's even recalling my mother. So he took a picture and posted my dog on his Instagram page. So he did so without my consent. If at all possible, I want to file animal cruelty charges. I know it's years later, but I want extenuating circumstances because this man is stalking me now. He's going around trying to extort my parents, saying that there's dozens of pending lawsuits because I'm threatening him and his clients.
So he's just this came over as like a domestic. This is just somebody you met online for a dog trainer. Or you have any? That's the relationship, pretty much.
It was a referral basis.
Okay. All right, so I'm trying to understand. So pretty much, so in like 2017, you hired this gentleman to help train your dog, and this has been going. And then obviously you didn't agree with how that went. You left reviews, I guess, on his website, and then since then he's been you kind of defamation, defaming your name and everything like that on his website.
No, he's doing it on Google. So, so the review I left was this year. But the first time I hired him was in 2016. I was living in an apartment in Patchogue. You're familiar with New Village? Mm-hmm. Those apartments. So he came there a few times. I didn't have any complaints really, other than his lack of professionalism, where he would speak ill of his clients. He would say, oh, this guy, you know, he's a Sheba, he's a fucking moron, that type of thing. He would say he knew better than the vets and stuff. He said he didn't believe his dog trainer. His dog trainer told him that his dog had to be put down or something, and he didn't agree with that, and that's one of the reasons why he became a dog trainer.
Yeah.
So David has been relentless and been calling me violent and a rapist. And
what is he calling you that through? On the website?
on the website, he's been calling my parents, and he's been going through my father's medical records.
How is he doing that? How do we know he's going through like
he admitted to it on the internet.
Okay, how is he getting through your father to your father's medical records?
We don't know.
All right. Like, what is that? What is he doing by doing that, though? I'm saying.
He says that I violently assaulted my father.
Okay. So pretty much he's kind of just, you know, spreading false rumors about yourself on.
Yeah,
on
but he's trying to loose it tightly to like actual things.
Yeah.
So if I went to the hospital one time, he says, "See, I proved that he's."
How does he know that you're going to the hospital and everything?
I don't know.
Okay. Are you when do you have his phone number? Do you speak through him through the phone, or this is all through the website?
Originally, I texted him. My sister and my parents serve as a witness in the text conversation because I included them in a group chat. And the reason why I did that is because he was saying I was making threats to him.
Yeah.
And I certainly was not. So I wanted to include witnesses to avoid any hearsay. So I certainly didn't make any death threats to him. As you can see, I don't know if you can read that. He says here, I have to kill my dog, so now you're next. I certainly didn't say that. So this is
what he's saying that you said to him?
Yeah.
This is a police report that he filed?
That's a court order of protection he tried to file. And
he has an order of protection against you?
No, as you can see, it was denied and it expired 3 days after. It was only for, I guess, 48 hours.
Okay.
So it expired.
This is just a dog train. There's no romantic relationship here, is there?
There's no romantic relationship.
Okay.
So I went down to the courts in Central Islip.
Yeah.
And I tried to see if I can press get a court order of protection against him.
Yeah.
They said he needs to be arrested.
Yeah.
So I need Virginia to do that. So I had a police report filed here. So this is the police report I had filed that day.
Okay.
This is a cease and assist I served him. A lawyer reviewed everything I said to him. They said there's no threats of harm to this individual.
Yeah.
And now he's calling up my father saying, I'm threatening multiple of his employees. I'm certainly not.
Okay. So so from this report taken here today, what's different about what you're calling for today? Have you got any new information?
I wanted you guys to keep an eye because he likes to respond. I deleted my review to clear. Let's see if I can go to so I can get rid of his response where he calls me mentally ill and so I didn't want that coming up. And so I just want, it was made 28 minutes ago, and I even have the cease and assist attached to it, and I want the police to kind of monitor the situation and see what he responds.
What are you? I don't understand. You're reaching out to him, correct?
This is Google. This is Google reviews.
Okay, and you posted something?
That's his business. I said David came into my home, acted unprofessionally, and improperly used an educator e-collar, resulting in harm to my dog Shelby. He was never hired again after that.
Yeah. So what do you? I don't understand. I'm confused as what do you want us to monitor?
Well, these are the responses where he called my parents and he said that I threatened multiple of his employees.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to extort my parents. But the things he's been saying I tried to kill police officers. He's calling me a rapist. So he's trying to gain sympathy for his pathetic cause that I'm somehow trying to cause harm to him.
My advice for this, and I'm sure, is kind of just cease all contact with this person. Like, I don't think posting on his you know what I mean?
He did cause harm to my dog, so I want to file charges for that.
Well, I can document that you had. This isn't something where he's gonna get arrested for. You know, this is, if you're saying this happened in 2017, you thought that he was.
What if my mother
trained?
What if my mother serves as the witness?
I can document that in 2017 you hired the gentleman. You believe that he improperly used a shock collar on your dog, but it's not something that we're going to affect an arrest at this point. You know, I could document it for
What about him going through my medical records?
There would be your father's medical records, and can you show that? That's how do we know he's going through your father's medical records, and what is that?
Okay, so I'm just gonna put her outside in a second because this is not my YouTube page. This is
Does your father live here?
My father does not live here.
Your father would have to be the complainant on that report, though. If it's his, you understand what I'm saying? He would have to be the complainant on that report if it's going through his medical.
So this is the message that he left my parents on their answering machine.
Mm-hmm. When was this?
This was a few days ago, maybe a week ago.
Okay. Was that on this report?
It was actually the day of.
Okay.
Actually just left a voicemail on what I believe was your cell phone. Matthew. My name is David Herbert. We actually briefly met in 2016. I came to your home for a dog training lesson with your son. And I, myself, my wife, and even several of our employees have been relentlessly harassed and stalked since April of this year. The number of lawsuits that are going to have to move forward at this point because we don't have any other choice are in the dozens because your son has been criminally harassing us. Endless public slander, defamation, libel. It's out of control, and I really do not want to go to court. I'm sure you don't either. Unfortunately, you would be involved as you're not only a witness, but your son has actually named you as witnesses multiple times on the internet very publicly. We are incredibly concerned about our safety. We have gone to the police multiple times, which only seems to fuel him more and more and more when we really just want to be left alone.
So is this pretty much him just saying that you've been falsely accusing and threatening him?
Yes.
Okay.
And I also, my father's on the phone, and we have a discussion where I say, how did this guy find your medical records? And my father denies, he says, I didn't tell anybody. I haven't talked to anybody.
Okay.
I called the hospital. They said they didn't release any medical records.
Yeah.
But he's admitting to causing me emotional distress.
How is that? By what?
By calling me a violent, mentally ill psychopath.
Yeah.
He's saying I abused my dog.
I understand that. That's all. Anybody, people can call me, a fat pig and all this, and although it's not, it's not right thing to do. It's not criminal.
It's causing me harm.
Yeah.
And I guess right now I can't prove.
It's not about this is kind of like seems like it's going on so long that it's kind of like the whole you just reached out to me like a half hour ago. It's like I would just stop all ties of contact.
Every so often he ups his game. So it starts off with him calling me a fake. First of all, it starts with him abusing the dog. Then I leave him a review. Then he says, "Oh, this is fake."
So why are we still? This was like 5 years ago at this point, right? Where the last that he worked with you.
Yeah.
So why are we still leaving reviews 5 years later?
I didn't think of it at the time to leave him a review. I should have filed a police report then. I guess I'm stupid for that. I mean,
because that's more of like a civil. I understand it's your animal. And your animal's a person too. I listen. I like my dog better than most people I come in contact with. So I feel you for that. But as far as that happened then, and now this continuous. You know what I mean? It's kind of you're also reaching out to him as well. It doesn't seem like you're the one that kind of wants to. Not that you're at fault by any means.
I want that review to stay up. I want it to be known that I had.
Absolutely. And that's your right to do so.
He can't get away with having a 5-star business review when there are individuals who've had negative experience with it. He can't hire what was that website called? Fix My Reputation for $6,000 a month or whatever. Brand yourself or something, and where they're just going to bury these reviews as if he's such an exceptional human being, and he.
But what I'm saying is, I think the reviews have been left. You made your point, but if you're trying to if your reviews are getting taken down, you're saying I'm going to keep leaving reviews.
Well, no.
To kind of
basically, I can just leave it as a static review and not touch it, and it will exist.
Okay.
So Google is not touching this review.
Yeah.
The ones where we're having a back and forward conversation, Google actually removed it.
Okay.
And
so
I'll show you. if I sign out of my accounts right now, and if I go to this, now they said that they couldn't verify one of my reviews. I thought this whole time I was posting publicly. So this review has stayed public.
Yeah.
So I'm not signed into the account. So I can see this without being logged in. And hold on, let me just go back. And if I sort by lowest, you know, it's these 1-star reviews. But if I sign in to this account, there's also a review on his page where it has a cease and desist, it has our text conversations, it has an old review he left me, and it has a disclaimer where he can't go through my personal possessions and take my IP.
Okay.
So I say on this one, David has been accused of stalking in the past, and he and his legal team came across a YouTube page that did not have my name attached to it and could not be found by I hired a private investigator, he couldn't find it. He has gone on to steal my intellectual property by downloading my videos and re-uploading them, and then not, you know, identifying his page as his own. And he stalked and extorted my family with frivolous litigations over a 1-star Google review. No one threatened you, David. I fear for my life, as David has trained attack dogs and clearly has friends in law enforcement who have provided him sealed court documents. So he's posting, you know, I hired another investigator to run a background check. He's posting things like a situation in December of 2020 where I was cited for not having insurance, but I did have insurance.
Okay.
And but as you can see, the other review is there, but this one is not public, and this is his response. This psychopath is having another mental breakdown while continuing. So these are the reasons why my review got taken down, because I responded to one of these.
Okay.
And then if he doesn't want his sick info and history to be shown to the world, he will remove it. He will remove his fake review, which it's not fake.
Yeah.
And then all his videos will be taken down. If he continues, we'll post on our website and social for over 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
So, is there any way I can get him for stalking or perjuring himself or lying on a court document?
No, it's not. How is he stalking?
Because he's gone through my medical records. He's gone through my father's medical records.
I mean, that would be your father. Your father would have to be the complaint on that. He would have to show. I don't know how you're showing that he's going through that. How there's any proof
because
that he's going through that.
He says it.
But that, regardless, even if that's your father, would have to be the complainant on
well,
that.
he says he's going through my medical records. He's documenting on one of these. He says he was recently hospitalized in a psych facility for 10 days. So this comes in that situation.
He could also just be making this up and posting that out.
That is something where the police beat me up on December 27, 2020.
Yeah.
And they told Stony Brook Hospital that I tried to murder them with my truck.
Okay.
So now I'm dealing with this situation where I have a hospital bill for something where I was a victim of police brutality.
Okay.
And now he's posting it. He's saying I tried to murder them.
Yeah.
He's saying I was hospitalized for 10 days. And like that's in my medical records.
I could document this, but this is going to be more of a civil case that you believe that he's kind of destroying your reputation. It's not like
he's calling me a rapist.
But unfortunately, people are allowed to post that stuff. You know, unless
that's damaging to my professional reputation. That's damaging to my life's work.
That's a civil dispute.
And
you know,
and he hurt my dog.
Yeah,
like,
I understand. But listen, I could document that he's posting reviews, you know, calling you, you know, a rapist, and that you've been institutionalized, and you're unsure how he got that information. You're questioning
what about the police who beat me up? Is that a criminal situation?
That's something that's completely different as to what you called for tonight. That's something that you have to take.
Yeah, but you know, I had internal affairs take care of that, and who's to say, you know, his buddy isn't one of the guys who beat me up?
My advice is this kind of, and this it sounds like, not the other, I don't want to use the wrong words. I don't want to say vendetta, but this back and forth of you two going back and forth, because you're still going back and forth.
I have a static review.
But but you just said that you just showed me something that you posted 28 minutes ago.
Yeah, but it says the same thing that I posted.
But I would just stop posting. Why not cease contact with this person altogether? Block the phone number, tell your family.
Because he's not getting away with hurting my dog.
But you can't. But all right, then you can't. I mean,
he's already admitted to acting weird that day. So I accused him. I got him on the phone. I said, it seemed like you were having a bad day and you took it out on my dog. And he says, He says later on, yeah, I was acting weird that day. It was incredibly uncomfortable and disturbing for me. So he admits to it.
Okay, it's not a crime being uncomfortable. You understand that?
But he took it out on the dog. That's a crime. That's animal cruelty. He hurt the dog.
5 years ago, and we really, other than you saying you think like it's not something that we're gonna lock him up for. I can tell you that right now. You know, it's not something that we can give it even issue like a ticket for. I don't even believe.
Is there anything I've done that's threatening to him?
Not that I see at all, but I mean, listen. Somebody can attempt to get a seat. Somebody can attempt to get an order of protection against you, whether you deem it you know, fair or not. That's your right. You can go. I can give you this report number. You can try and get an order of protection against him. Doesn't mean that he can call the police and be like, hey, he's trying to get an order of protection against me. I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a. You know what I mean? Like they're allowed to do that. You're allowed to leave foul reviews on his site, and he's allowed to defend those reviews on his replies, which he seems like he's doing. And whether he's, you know, bringing up your past your medical problems or whatever issues you have going on and using it against you, that makes him very a foul person.
Let me put this into context. There's a lawyer out in California named George Gettleman. He represents a client named Matthew Joya.
Okay.
In either 2017 or 2018, Matthew Joya out in California was the benefactor of the mental health diversion law. As a result of this being published in the newspaper, I was put into a coma because an EMS mistook me for this individual. So his medical history became my problem, and I was injected with ketamine and put in the ICU. I have an $80,000 hospital bill.
Yeah.
So this guy saying all this crap on the internet about me being a rapist, being mentally ill, being dangerous, saying I abuse my dog. Someone could come across that and say, hey, this is Matthew Joya. You know, we have a composite image of him on the internet, and it's associated with this thing, and he's a violent individual. You know, make sure you take any means necessary to take him down. Make sure you treat him, you know, viciously or aggressive as a hostile person. You know, I've had harm caused to me by words on the internet. Yeah. So what he's doing to me is deeply disturbing. And the fact that it's going unpunished, where he can just sit back and saying, yeah, he's threatening multiple employees of mine. I don't even know who multiple employees of his are.
I understand.
And he's just ignoring a cease and desist, and he doesn't seem to realize that his court order of protection was denied. It was unsubstantiated. Nobody's made any death threats to him. It came after I sent his wife an email that said, gee, I want to reason with you because David's being non-compliant.
Well, I think we realize that he's unreasonable. So I think my advice to you would be to move on from this, because it's not, you know what I mean?
Well, he has intellectual property of mine. So Google took down my YouTube page because this guy was watching it like a hawk, and he reported one of my videos, and it got flagged and got taken down. It's a cartoon breast that caused my channel to get shut down.
Okay.
So I lost over 400 videos spread out over like 2 years or something.
Okay.
But
that's not a police matter.
But it's my property.
Okay. That's something you have to take.
He's stolen my property.
By getting it taken down, he's not taking property from you.
He's illegally copyrighted.
But
he's illegally downloaded.
Again, that's a civil
dispute. How do you
dispute.
download a video from YouTube?
I have no idea. I'm not a computer person. You know, that's a civil dispute. I can tell you that right now. So I'm not sure what is documented on this report. Is it?
Basically, this was to initiate a restraining order up here. Okay. So I called the courts and I said, how do I file a court order of protection against him?
Yeah, you need to have somebody arrested.
Because he's not family.
It's not domestic, yes.
So.
But from everything you showed me, there's no criminality in any of this, unfortunately. You know.
He violated HIPAA. He went through medical records.
We don't know that he could be. We don't know that he did that. He can heard it word through mouth or whatever. You like you said. We have no idea how he got that information, or if he got that information, or if he's just saying slander to make you look like a bad person, which he could. He's obviously very well doing, calling you a rapist and stuff like that.
Well, he came across a YouTube channel that was called Informed Consent. It did not have my name attached to it. He says his lawyers and legal team just casually came across it. So.
What's your name? Is Matthew?
My name's Matthew.
How do you spell your last name, Matthew?
It's G as in George, I-O-I-A.
And your date of birth?
It's 1/5/87. Now he's posting documents that are supposed to be court order sealed. What about that? He didn't casually just come across that.
What? From documents from you?
Documents from the court. I have to call up lawyers.
That he received?
He has a YouTube channel enshrined to me.
But he posts. He can put whatever he wants on the internet. For I can't. They're his documents that he got from the court, and he wants to put them on the internet. I can't.
If I say the police were a co-conspirator in 9/11, I'm allowed to say that?
I mean, if someone called me saying that the police are a co-conspirator in 9/11, I'm not going to arrest that gentleman. I can tell you that. What's your phone number, Matthew?
It's 631
Yeah.
332 9631.
9631. And what's this gentleman's name? David?
David Jerome Herbert.
So David Herbert, Jerome's the last name? I mean, Jerome's the middle name?
Jerome's the middle name.
Do you know his date of birth?
It's on this document. I can't read it though. Let's
okay.
see.
So just.
I think it's 89 or something.
Okay. So this is what I can do is I can just say that it's an ongoing issue with a former dog trainer that with the relationship that ended sour. Since then he's been leaving comments on his Google page, defaming your name and you request documentation. That's pretty much what I can document for you.
But he's also posting I tried to murder the police.
Yeah, I mean okay, and I could add that into the report as well.
I've never tried to murder the police.
I don't believe that you did. You don't write me off as that gentleman at all. You've been nothing but a gentleman to me. But like I said, unfortunately, that's more of like a civil matter that you can take with the civil courts, and to maybe get his page shut down or anything like that. Absolutely. My advice is to kind of just
that's the other thing.
See what you.
This is taking time out of my day.
Well, you're elected and allowed to take time.
No, I'm in a clinical psychology PhD. I'm taking 4 courses,
yeah.
And I got to deal with this, and I gotta call lawyers. I gotta call Google. I gotta call IC3 or whatever to have these Google things taken down. I can't just go here and have it taken down. I have to submit a copyright claim, and since I don't have the original source material, I can't do that. So now I have to find another way where I say either it's causing violence towards me, it's harassment, it's bullying, or it's some other thing.
You can definitely say that as bullying, but that's that's going to be something to do with the website in itself. And again, if it's not like a criminal matter, that's just what I'm explaining to you. There's no direct threats towards you has been posted. You understand? It's just defaming your name, saying bad things about your name, calling you, making up lies about you. But again, all of that in itself is...
His tooth is gone because of the emotional distress he caused me.
Yeah. I mean, and again, but that would be a civil dispute that you have to sue him civilly. I can't... It's not criminal.
As soon... I have the video. When I came across and read that he called me a drug-addicted psychopath, and he said that I abused my dog, I flipped out because he was served with a cease and desist, and rather than abide by it and apologize for doing what he did and just removing it and letting it go and just dealing with the fact that he had a client who was not happy with the service, he decided to take issues that are unrelated to the dog training and just destroy years of effort where I tried to be straight edge, tried to stay away from drugs and alcohol, avoid temptation, don't go to parties. And I routinely get drug tested, and this guy's calling me a drug addict. He's calling me mentally ill. He's calling me violent. He's saying I abused my dog. He's calling me a rapist. And it's upsetting because...
Absolutely. But listen, this is... And then, like... That's why I'm saying, like, is this even worth it, taking this up? I understand you don't want other people to go through the same stuff that you went through with him as a dog trainer, but obviously it's taking such a control of your mental health that maybe let me give you some
background to the dog. The dog was rescued from North Shore Animal League.
Yeah.
When I went there was a hound dog puppy, an adorable little puppy that I was thinking of adopting. Then I saw this dog. She was so silent. She was so submissive. She was so lethargic. And I said, this dog needs a loving, stable home.
Yeah.
And... walking her, she was so fearful of cars. She would drool profusely in cars. She would run away from cars and slip out of her harness and stuff when walking the dog. She had separation anxiety. She had to be in constant vision of you. And it was problematic because I couldn't walk her because there are cars everywhere. So that was one of the original reasons why I hired him, so I could just take care of her. And he assisted, basically, he gave me a choker collar, one of those prong collars, and, it just, that helped a little bit with the walk, and it just came with desensitization, just exposing her to the elements over and over and over. And really, he did nothing for her submissive behavior. I took her out, I socialized her, I took her to the dog park, made sure she met other dogs, met other people, you know, made sure she had a stable home. And she was coming out of her shell. She was being more social. She was being less submissive. And then this guy comes over and he undoes it all by shocking her with that e-collar over and over and over. I've seen him use it in the past. So he can't defend himself by saying, that's not how we operate it. Yes, I know. I've seen him use it in the past. I said in this situation, in this isolated incident, he improperly used it where the frequency he hit that button, he might as well just been holding it down for 30 to 40 seconds. And she just gave up. I described it to him like she was being raped, where she just gave up.
Okay.
And
but again, with that is you there's no proof of like intent that he intended to do that to cause harm to
well, he says that he was acting. He said he was uncomfortable that day.
Well,
he was
that's
disturbed.
Not going to be enough where you can say he intended to harm your dog. You know.
I guess the rape comparison is wrong because I guess.
No, I understand what you're saying. She was going through pain.
I guess it's more like remorse where they feel like they cheated and stuff, or you know, it's the wrong guy.
Yeah. All right, so I'll put the report down on this, but listen, you're gonna take like this. I can tell you one thing, you can do the other. My advice, and maybe it's easier for me to say because I'm on the outside perspective. I haven't dealt with this for the past couple of years like you have, but I would kind of at this point, you know, it's only causing you, like you said, more stress, more time in your day, taking you away from your school and work and everything like that, and all the things that you've done to progress in the past couple of years. Is this battle with somebody who means nothing to you, that you have no attachment to at all, you know?
Well, look at it like this. He's going to say that I'm damaging his business. I mean, he's essentially doing the same to me.
Exactly.
If I want to be an empathetic, person-centered, you know, therapist who's warm and receptive, and then if people read that, you know, he's potentially dangerous, he's unstable, they might get the wrong idea with it.
They might, but that's their, you know, that is what it is. That's why I think that if this stopped, then his rebuttals to your comments would stop as well, and the you know, the defamation on the website about your character would stop as well. You know, but obviously it's going to continue the more that you continue. You understand what I'm saying? Someone in this situation has to be the bigger person. I obviously don't know him, but speaking to you, I kind of get that opinion that you are, but you're going to have to make that decision yourself. Now, if you want to take this up yourself civilly, that's just causing you so much stress, you can absolutely
I mean,
do that,
you're telling me that, you know, I appear to be, you know, cordial and
100%. Yeah, I got
but
no.
That's my issue with him. He's resting on his reviews, and he's
we can't change that.
He's changing it. He's making sure he's making sure that this isn't a 4.7 or 4.6 or lower. He's making sure it's as close to 5.
Well, that's his business. He's gonna do that.
Yeah, well, he's resting on his reputation, and it's making me look like I'm, you know, just. He thinks I'm out to get him. He's paranoid.
It sounds like you kind of are a little bit though at this point. You know, you seem like you're very fixated on his review, that you want it to be a bad review because you had a bad experience. I understand that, but you're making it your mission to kind of. You understand what I'm saying? That's how it comes off.
I'm making it my mission.
But you made your point. You made your comments. That comment's staying there. You said it's a static comment. It's not going to leave. So you made it. Now it's time to move on.
Yeah, but I feel threatened. That's the issue.
But you're threatening
because he's calling my parents. He's going through my medical records, and he's posting things on YouTube about me on a weekly basis.
And aside from getting those videos removed, it's not unless there's no direct threats to you. As far as the medical records, he's saying things about you that you were institutionalized or whatever. We don't know if how he obtained that, if he even went through your medical records to get that, or if he's just saying that to be a very foul person. There's no threats to you where aside from saying that, you know, aside from calling you like a rapist and you abuse your dogs, and if you want to say that's messing up, you know, you feel like you should be held liable for that because it's how it's making you feel, the stress, everything, that it will be documented, but that's a civil dispute. It's not something where he can get arrested, where you're going to get an order of protection against him for. I can tell you that right now. Until there's like, you know, direct threats or physical violence, something like that, that's more along the lines of how an order of protection will be affected. Unless it's the police department, we don't give order of protections. We give the report, and the courts decide that. Unless it's a domestic situation, 9 out of 10 times all order of protections when it's not involved domestic are going to be handled when there's criminal when there's criminality involved, and there's no criminality involved in this.
Okay,
you know?
maybe the one thing you can help me out with. I need this rumor that I tried to murder the police to go away.
I can't. I can tell you this. If I could leave a review on something of yours saying that I'm a police officer and I dealt with you for 20 minutes or whatever, and your house is clean, you have a beautiful dog and everything like that, and you were cordial with me, and I never got the sense where I needed to have another police officer here because I felt threatened, I could do that. But unfortunately, I can't. You have that camera, and if you want to post this, you very, very well can. But unfortunately, somebody starting a rumor about somebody, it just makes them a bad person. And unfortunately, you may have to deal with it to some extent. But just that person is somebody that you don't need to have in your life. You don't need that negativity in your life. Move on and create whatever happened with the police, whatever so many years ago. Then that's if you have to deal with it, however you said you dealt with it with IA, understandably, but kind of move on from that and start your and redo. It's. Some people are going to like you in life. Some people are going to hate you. I don't need to.
Well,
I'm, sure
I'm losing.
And you can try.
I have to apply for a Graduate Plus loan for school, and I'm losing out on that because of the police. For this situation.
Yeah, that's just something unfortunate. That's a separate occasion.
I mean, I had stolen property that day. I had a Canon SL2 camera, a brake light stolen, a digital memory card reader, 2 memory sticks, and a tripod. It was like $2,500 worth of physical property, and then based on chargebacks from websites, it's $2,500 per video, and there was at least 10 videos on there. So